Hey there. Sometimes we do these cold opens. We have some great opportunities for sponsors here at What a Week Podcast. So if you enjoy this content and you want it to continue, we encourage you to slide into our DMs and see what we can do for you. To the matter at hand, I wanted to address 2 recent gaffes I had while producing. The first occurred during our interview with Scott Pressler. Scott was incredibly gracious enough to come to our studio with the limited time he has. Scott, to you and the viewers, I truly apologize. The second infraction happened on the episode which you're about to watch with Sean McAndrew. I did not record the video for approximately 5 minutes. Saving grace, audio was recorded so you could still hear it. I can make all the excuses, but in the end, I dropped the ball. I appreciate all your support in this difficult time, and I ask you to stick around for the end of the show for my penance. You don't want to miss it.
Do you think you're properly penanced?
I think this is painful enough.
This is
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hope you guys enjoy the show. Do you want to start off with the clip, Dan?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're here today with Scranton School Director Sean McAndrew.
Woohoo!
And I have this thing about like political divisiveness.
Okay.
Right? I don't like it.
Right.
I think that people, like when I was growing up, it was like religion and politics you don't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I found this clip yesterday and it's 2 very divisive people. And I just think it's hysterical.
Okay.
So I want to start off watching this. You've seen this, right? Okay. I want your take on it.
Okay.
Whatever.
I saw this.
Did you see this?
Yeah, this is great.
It's beautiful.
I apologize.
It's like The Notebook.
Yeah.
Like a Nicholas Sparks movie.
Yeah.
I'm breaking all the rules.
I guess we might make some mistakes. Who knows?
It's so good.
I think one of the biggest problems we have in DC is that everyone's egos are too big.
I actually just prefer to have no titles at all.
You're opening yourself up.
I'm just being me.
This is like a bad episode of like The Bachelorette.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the power of editing.
Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And then they get on the starship and go all the way up to Mars.
Have you seen Blonde AOC?
She's beautiful.
It's ridiculous. Have you seen that
yet?
No.
Dan, pull it up.
So
Google Blonde AOC.
So what they did, they just changed her hair color, and I think they gave her blue eyes.
Oh,
and
okay.
it looks like a totally different
Oh,
person.
really?
It's wild. All right, so let's keep having fun. But did you grow up in? Where'd you grow up?
So I grew up in West Side,
What area?
like Orm Street.
Okay.
All
Did you go to school locally?
Yeah, I didn't go to public school. I went to private school. I went to St. Pat's for grade school, and then I went to Bishop Hannon for high school, last class.
The last class to ever go through there?
Yeah, before they merged.
That's the one downtown. Well, kind of downtown.
yeah,
Yeah.
right across from the cathedral.
That became Holy Cross.
Yeah, but they used the building up at Bishop O'Hara.
Got it.
What year did you graduate?
07.
Oh, so I got like 9 years on you.
Only 9.
Only 9.
Yeah.
Were you always like, everyone's coming up and telling me, why are you running for school board?
Right.
So like, why did you decide to run for school board?
Well, I always wanted to get involved. I want to help my community. I love Scranton.
Yeah.
Like, you ask any of my friends, like, I'm never leaving, probably. I don't even like to leave for vacation. Like, I love my community, my neighborhood. I was involved in a couple other things. I was like on the Parks and Recs director for a while.
It's nothing like the TV show, right?
No, it was like the Rec Authority board, where I was on the board for about 1.5 years, 2 years, and I was the president for one of them. I ran for city controller when I was like 24, right out of the gate.
What are your parents thinking? Are they like, Sean, what are you doing?
Yeah, they were a little shocked right off the bat, but they're very supportive of anything, me and my brothers do. So they're,
How do you approach your parents at 24? Because like at 24, I was still aggressively drinking.
Yeah, 24, 25. I told them that I wanted to do it. They were kind of shocked because the person who was there for a long time and kind of friends with the family. So it was a little tough decision, but I was young and I had my sights set on it. So I was like, I'm going to do this and I want to do it. And they got on board. And there was a couple phone calls where like, yeah, I need a little extra donation because our mailers didn't go out. So I need to do a letter now. So,
all right, that's tough to do.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
Like I have a real hard time
Asking people for money?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's hard to ask other people. To ask my mom and dad, that was a little easier, but that still was tough. Yeah. So
how did you get over that? I'm trying to figure out like
But
how
I'm
to.
still not over it. You know what I mean? Like I have my events, but like actually calling people and asking, that's still going to always be the struggle. That's the toughest part, especially when I ran. It was during COVID and people's businesses were closed and the state didn't let them open up. The big box stores open. So like
Right.
the community members, I couldn't really, I felt like I'm not going to ask, I'll support it myself with my friends and my family to help out. And if I have a party and whoever donates, but like actually picking up the phone and calling, and that's always going to be the hardest thing.
I'm still. Micah wants to be like the guy who's.
I have no problem asking for other people.
Yeah.
I mean, like I
Oh, by the way, he's my campaign chair.
yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So pretty much it's going to be like, Marky, like, hey, here's why I'm here. I want to be the good guy. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. Give us your money.
Yeah.
Like, well, and it's no different than asking for money for like a charitable cause. Like we've been involved in Coaches versus Cancer and Marley's Mission and all those things. And for me, it's real simple. Like, Marley's Mission, was it last year both of us got honored?
Yes.
We both got honored for contributions and helping out. And so, I get up there to receive my award and give my little speech. And I was like, all right, here's the deal. Like, I don't know exactly how much a horse costs because it's like horse therapy for kids that have gone through trauma. Right. I was like, but I'm pretty sure like a therapy horse is a lot more. Right. So give us your money. Yeah. And they were like, oh, ha, ha, ha. I was like, no, I'm serious. Like, we're starting a fundraiser right now and we need like 40 grand.
Right.
And I think people can respect that. If you're like, hey, listen, here's the reality of life. Like a political campaign costs money. Right. So I need 5,000 of your monies. Mm-hmm. I need 10,000 of your monies. We were joking around with a friend of ours the other day, and I was kind of riling him up a little bit. And I'm like, do you think there's problems with the Scranton School? She's like, oh yeah. I said, yeah. Like on a scale of $1 to $1,000, how bad do you think it is?
Yeah, that's a good way to mention.
Yeah.
So I started laughing.
Right.
As soon as he said that. What were the reasons why you decided to run?
So I didn't run at first. I got appointed. So there was an opening. Somebody resigned. And again, I was involved with other things in the community. And I always still wanted to get back in it when I got, after running, it was a hard lesson. It was a good lesson to learn.
Yeah.
It sucked losing, I'll be honest with you, but honestly, it was the best thing that ever happened to me because my career took off in a positive direction. And I learned a lot from that. So I still had the itch to help my community out. And when I saw that was opening, I said, you know what, like that is the biggest issue right now in our city. It's the most important time in our district's history was at that moment because of, all the issues with the scandals or, the high taxes and the recovery that we were in. So I thought, you know what, let me, put my hat in the ring and see what happens. So I interviewed the first time. I didn't get it. They gave it to a Notre Dame lawyer, and I'm a big Notre Dame fan. So losing to a Notre Dame lawyer was like, oh, all right, like I lose. But another one opened right after somehow. Somebody else resigned. So I was like, let me try it one more time. And then I got on, and it was interesting. Like when I first got on, it was during a lot of the asbestos stuff in the Northeast, and I wanted to tour that building immediately. But because it was under like the remediation, we couldn't go in it yet. So I went to South, and when I got to South, I went during the day, and I walk into huge school, obviously. Yeah. So many kids. And then the bell rang and you just see all the kids come in the hallway. And I'm from a small little private school. And I'm like, Dorothy, I'm not in Kansas anymore. But I knew I had to work extra hard. And some people are like, well, do you think that was something that, you struggled with? Or is that a negative that you didn't go to public school? And I said, you know what? I kind of see it as a positive because I see things in a different light.
Right.
I'm not used to being in this scenario where things are how they are.
Well, you're not biased by the things that you love and you hate.
Exactly, or what I grew up with.
Right.
So I could see things, and like I was always in a small class. Whether it was in grade school, middle school, high school. So that's why I'm a big proponent of small school classes, especially in elementary where you learn to learn.
Right.
So that's the stuff that I think I brought to that that aspect and that point of it. But I knew I had to work 10 times harder because I never went into public school, and there's so much more than to deal with in that. So
was it a shell shock for you to be like, whoa, like, cause you compare it with like your education.
Right.
And then when you go into like the public school, it's not that you were ignorant of what happens in public schools.
Right.
But like when you see it, like when you went to South, where you're like, oh,
yeah. From the number of kids and the look of the building, because a lot of our buildings need repair and stuff like that, and the old school floors and the old school desks and stuff like that. Yeah, it was all like, again, I was like, I'm not in Kansas anymore. I really need to step up and do this with 110%.
Like, did you have any idea?
Yeah, I did my homework. I talked to former directors. My uncle was a former director. I talked to other people like to, get the ins and outs. But until you're in the seat, you don't realize it. You know what I'm trying to say? It's funny too. Right after you get appointed, you sit on the dais and the meeting starts. They give you a packet and the meeting takes off.
Really?
So there's no like.
That seems like a really weird way to do it. It's like, all right, catch your breath.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
You swear in, you sit down, we're going, let's go. So from day one, I was like, okay, 110%, let's do this. And, there's no looking back, but I won't, I knew I had to work. Like, my thing in this is nobody's going to care more than me and nobody's going to outwork me. Like, that's how I take it as a director. If I can go to any event I can go to, I'm going. If there's an issue and I hear about it and it's not getting resolved or it's a huge issue, I'm there the next day at the school. Like, I'm going to do that and be more hands-on, and that's the approach I take with it.
So
it's obvious, like we talk about this all the time, and we've had people on here from all over, but like for me as a parent, it's very obvious watching you and the way you conduct yourself in that role as a director that it's important to you,
right?
And which is kind of why, somebody like Marky and even myself every now and then, it's like why he's getting involved is because sometimes you look at what's happening and it's like, why are you people even doing this?
Right.
It looks like you don't care.
Right.
And so, for you being on there, it's just a breath of fresh air.
I appreciate that.
Well, first of all, there's elections, so we can't make assumptions.
About what?
Me being on the school board. Like, it could be like, I don't like.
Oh, I'm calling it now.
Well, you can't. Well, we did a poll. We had $40,000 to do a poll.
That's what you spend all your money.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm like, how much are stickers?
Yeah.
How much do we have? $30.
What? So what? I'm trying to understand and it's really good that you have this different perspective, right? Because you can go in there and say what were some of the things that you saw that were man, this could be improved immediately.
Well, again, right when I got on was the asbestos. So the most important.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah,
the first
seriously.
Day one.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're now a school director. Also, we have a huge asbestos problem.
I learned more about asbestos than I ever thought I would. But the first thing I feel as a director, we owe every student and staff member is the health and safety of our buildings. And also safety of getting our kids to school and back. Once that's number one priority. Why we're in there, obviously, it's education.
Right.
But looking at the safety of it all, hearing what's going on in other districts and the tragedies and stuff like that, you knew that we needed to advance what we did for safety, and obviously the health of our buildings with all the asbestos, and just looking at our buildings in general, they're older, they're falling apart. So it's how do we do it all fairly and at right now and fix what we need to fix, and then on top of that, our education score, our test scores, that's where. It's all a combination of that while we have the state overseeing us in recovery, telling us if you don't follow the plan, we're going to report it to the state and you might go into receivership and you don't want that and stuff like that. So it was trying to juggle it all at the same time. And it was the difficult part because you got to make a priority list. What's at this time of the year, we need to do this and then that. So to me, I look at it like a pyramid. At the top of it's always the kids. So that's my number one. I'll always do anything to benefit the kids' their educations, their after school activities. If we just got new, I think they wanted volleyball and girls wrestling, all that stuff. Yes. If there's something they want to do and there's a need for it and a want for it. Yeah, absolutely. But then you look at, you have your staff and you have your taxpayers. So you got to juggle what's, everything costs money. So then how do we pay for it? Is it a tax increase? And that's the one thing in the recovery plan that never was addressed. It was all here's the plan, and you have to raise your taxes every year at this percentage. And it's the people who've been paying for the sins of the district for the last 10, 15 years are the taxpayers. And how can we have a productive school school district if nobody wants to come here? They want to live here. We need the good neighborhoods and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's almost like this ballet.
It's all holistic.
Time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. When a family comes to a city, what do they look for? A good school district. Yeah, especially if they have little kids preschool. Preschool's gone now.
What's the two things are schools and taxes.
And taxes too. Yeah. So taxes is another one. So our taxes we know keep getting higher and higher and higher. So there's times where I made votes where it's I never voted for a tax increase because I knew, and I didn't say just because I'm not going to vote for a tax increase. I knew that, okay, this year we had a surplus or we got a little bit extra funding from the state or we have a little bit more of a fund balance that's constantly growing. There were times, especially in tough times, with people losing their jobs or losing loved ones for COVID or losing their, again, the state. I didn't agree with how they closed the small businesses and let the big box stores open, but whatever. But that's where we could have helped out. And we did pause it for 1 year, but then the next year we went back and raised it again. And this whole exit of recovery
was dependent upon that.
Yeah. Well, it was that and changing how it was written. So we got a call, and to me, I think it was a little bit, to me, it was political because we had a new governor coming in and stuff like that. And you don't want to have it wasn't just our district getting out of recovery. It was a lot of districts getting out of recovery.
How many school districts are in recovery in Pennsylvania?
I think it was at the 3 or 4. I think we're getting out at the same time.
Okay.
Could be wrong on that. But we need to rewrite it. We need to make some amendments to it, which we always were told it's not amendable, but we need to make amendments where financially we were on the right path. It was more the education piece. It was written too tight. And the first thing I said to the chief recovery officer, I was like, well, you wrote it. So
this is your plan.
Yeah. So when it was like, okay, we're going to present it to us, I was like, okay, I understand we have to make some changes. But when it got to us, we got probably, a forecast of tax increases, which again, 4% every
each
year for 5 years. I can't sit there and say we were not going to have anybody who's going to be living here. Like I was the only one to vote no. I could not vote on that because again, it wasn't our problem. It was written that way. Find another way to fix it. But don't put that, because even if they say it's a forecast, it's a possibility, people are going to go back to that. Well, the recovery plan or the exit plan or monitor plan says this, and it's always going to be there. And I didn't want that included in it because once it's there, it's always something somebody's going to rely on and say, okay, well, see, we voted on it, we have to do it.
So I'm going to ask an evil corporate capitalist question, right? So like if let's say like there's a company struggling, right? And then you have like, venture investment. What's Mitt Romney do? What's his Bain Capital?
Bain Capital.
Yeah, but they go and buy businesses and just like
venture capitalists.
Is it? No, I don't think they're venture capitalists.
They basically strip it for parts.
Yeah, they strip it for parts and sell off all the shit. We don't want. I don't want to do that with the Scranton School District. Right. But if you looked at it, it's like if somebody like with that mindset came in and it's like, here's where we can, I guess, trim the fat, right? Is there anywhere that I'm not saying necessarily Scranton, but in school districts, where's the first place you go? Like, we're cutting music, we're cutting art.
No, I mean, that's stuff we're trying to bring back, but
it got cut, right?
Unfortunately, yeah. Before we got on the board, that's what they see. They cut things that are going to hurt the students, and that's where if you're going to cut things or dial back, look at your purchasing. Look at how you're purchasing things or who you're purchasing them from. Like, if you're using separate vendors for all this other stuff, why don't you combine it probably for a lower cost or do a shared service with the city if they're doing the same stuff? There's other stuff like that to lower and cut some things, and that's where I think we need to work more with the city, with the county, hopefully together. Like, we try, there's a bunch, we're starting to do a little things with the city, but there's so many more avenues that we could and should be doing with them.
So why can't that progress further, faster? Like, what holds that up?
Just finding something that benefits both of us, or what at the need at the time. Like, if something to me, if it's something benefited them, but we don't really need it right now, but it does benefit it a little, yeah, let's do it right now. But there's things we know we need. Like, we just did something together which I was against because I wanted to get our own, but we got a grant writer. We're looking for a grant writer to share. We definitely need one. I wanted to get our own because that's how important it is, but at least we're going to get one. We're going to, share the cost of the salary and stuff with the city. So there's stuff like that are starting to evolve. It's just, why is it taking so long with that kind of stuff?
Because it seems like the need is yesterday.
Yeah, that's exactly.
See, that's why I don't think I could ever run for school.
He's got no patience.
I have no patience.
Yeah.
I love being a business owner because I just make the decision and that's done.
Yeah, you need it.
It's just done. Right. And that's what's so frustrating to me is watching what you guys, what you have to go through and you'll get to go through next year.
We don't know, Micah.
Yeah, whatever. I'm manifesting.
Any given Sunday.
I'm manifesting.
Positive vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it would drive me insane.
Right.
If it's this is a common sense thing.
Right.
And you got 5 people are nah.
Yeah.
I would literally get kicked off the board because I would just be cursing people out.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is I'm a big, agree to disagree and then we move on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I lose a vote, all right, if something goes against the way I vote, okay, I'm on to the next thing. I'm not going to harp on it because we have to. It's what's the next battle? What's the next thing we have to fix? And that's going to always be the thing. Because there's 9 people with 9 personalities, 9 ideas and stuff like that. So that's always going to be hard. Like, I mean, council's probably hard enough with 5, but then now we have 9 on school board. So,
yeah. Or you could be in Wilkes-Barre with like 11 people that run it. Yeah. I was just like, what?
That's the hard part. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I'm pretty laid back. Like, but when there's time to, like, on the floor, I'm very blunt. I'm very, I'm going to say what I want to say. And then once it's over, all right, I'm on to the next thing. Like, I don't hold grudges. I don't, like.
Do you find that people are respectful of that? Where it's like, at least I know, like, Sean will stab me in the heart, not the back.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think everybody has different styles. So my style is upfront and blunt and honest, and that's just how I am. Like, I'm going to say what I want to say, and if it ruffles your feathers, I'm sorry. It's not personal. Some people have different styles. I'm okay with other people's styles. I just hope they're okay with my style. You know what I'm trying to say?
So Dan and I were in a band.
We were.
Speaking of awkward transitions,
but I would always say to him, I'm like, you know, it's really difficult, like, because you feel like you're married. Like, in the band, it was 5 people. I'm like, you feel like you're married with 5 people, right. And it was like there were moments that were contentious, and then moments that were joyful, and moments that were insane. But then, like, sometimes, like, when you got on stage, it's like it just gelled. Right, and it's like we forgot about everything before.
All the other stuff.
Everything goes out the window. Yeah.
Yeah, and like at the end of it, it's like, man, that was a good show. Like we did a really good job on that.
Right.
Do you, like what's the like? Did anybody prepare you for that? Did anybody prepare you for, like, look, you're going to have all these different personalities who aren't going to agree with you, or is that just like a life skill thing?
No, I mean, it's I'm a pretty laid back guy. Like, I'm one of those guys. Until you get me mad, I'm pretty laid back.
Oh, I actually thought you were asleep.
yeah. So it's yeah.
Thanks for laughing, Dan.
I talked to other directors and stuff like that. Like, my uncle was one. Tom Schuster was a good resource for me. Stuff like that, where, you know, Tom was on the board right when I got on before he went to council. But yeah, they said, you know, there's 9 people on here. You know, agree to disagree and do what you think is best. And my uncle always told me, like, vote with your gut. You know, like, when at the end of the day, like, you make tough decisions. But if it doesn't feel good in your gut, then you can't vote that way.
Do you guys ever do, like, team building stuff?
What do you mean? Like, we're all going axe throwing?
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, some of the boards that I'm on, like, we'll get together and, you know, go do something. It's kind of.
So we do, like, trainings through PSBA, Pennsylvania School Board Association. They're like the cookie cutter ones.
Trust falls.
I wish we did more, like, volunteer work together.
Did you say trust falls?
I was thinking, like, 3-legged race kind of things going on.
Yeah, like what?
Very elementary school based field day.
It's like how to be a board member, this kind of stuff like that. But I think I would love to do more together, like outside the board, not even on school board stuff. Like, why don't we go volunteer somewhere together and just work that way as a team? I think it'd go further.
Well, because relationship changes everything. You know, like, you might be sitting opposite somebody, whether you, like you said, whether it be in a band or on school board or whatever the case may be. You know, for me, with, you know, the team of people that we work with, as soon as you spend time with them outside of that normal environment,
right,
you get to know them as a person.
Yes, you
develop a rapport and a relationship. So when Sean says, you know, this is a bad idea, I'm voting no on that, you're not like, this asshole.
Right.
You're like, no, I know Sean. I know that I know his character. I think the smartest thing that people could do is more trust falls in team building.
Yeah. I think too was, like, right when I got on.
I'm not doing trust falls, man.
The first meeting I got on was at the admin building, and then the next one we all shut down because of COVID. So everything was virtual.
Wait a second. So you did, so what, you were on in February, and then next month you're.
Yeah, all remote. And, like, I was only in that boardroom once. I haven't been back since. So we're not going to be able to use it because of ventilation issues and stuff like that. The building needs a lot of repair. But yeah, so, like, right from that, we went right into virtual. So you could even have, like, before the meeting, hey, how are you? Like, you know, standing in the offside on the stage and have a conversation. Everything was virtual. So that was tough.
And that was like the first year, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody went into office that January, right?
Yep.
Wow.
That's insane.
Yeah. So that was a.
Like, you're cutting that's how you cut your teeth at that.
Yeah. Yeah. It takes away from
getting
them to learn somebody about their personalities and what they believe in and stuff.
So being that, I'm going to ask a scandalous question.
Okay.
I think I might know what it is.
So being that it was so difficult for, you know, I don't know, like, now that you guys are together, right? Was it more difficult to do the Zoom than it was to be together? Because now you can compare and contrast the two. So, like, when you're trying to have meetings via Zoom versus, like, hey, I'd like to say, you know, hello to you on the side of the stage or whatever. Was it more difficult doing it via Zoom?
Yeah. Yeah. So
there's no doubt.
Yeah. Because, like, some people might be on before other people, and, like, people are popping in and out. Like, yeah, absolutely.
So then my follow up to that, how difficult do you think it was for the students?
Oh, Absolutely. It was a whole new world for them. We didn't have any virtual, really anything for our students. So yeah, it was, we literally had to buy the Chromebooks. They were on delay, all that stuff. It was a challenge right off the bat. And I think we're learning now the learning loss that we had and the social skills loss that we had.
Yeah, it was bad.
You know what I'm trying to say? Well, yeah, like you're not there with your friends hanging out and getting those social skills and just getting out of the house and having fun. Like school's supposed to be fun too.
Yeah.
So I think there were a lot of the challenges. And that was like same thing during COVID. Anything that we thought like the medical team said we can do, like extra games, extra this, I was always for, because these kids are going to be missing out on it because you only get to go to school, especially high school, once.
So I was, and Mike, I'll tell you, the beginning of COVID, I was a lunatic, right? I'm sure we've talked about it before, where I was like washing my hands incessantly and keeping.
I'll tell the story again.
Go ahead.
It's hilarious. So we get shut
Mike
down.
is like, here's how my friend's crazy.
Here's how my stupid friend Marky is. Vote for Marky down at Bomber School Board. No, but like, I mean, he was so terrified by COVID.
Right.
And, I went to go deliver something to his house. I think his wife needed something from the store.
Probably because I watched Contagion in the last 5 years,
Yeah.
where I'm like, oh,
And
Jude
he's
Law's
like-
killing everyone.
He's like 20 feet away from me, just like ferociously washing his hands. He's like, don't come any closer. I'm like, okay. Like, he was just terrified. And then all of a sudden, like maybe 2 weeks later or 10 days later.
So what I started to do is I started to read data.
Okay.
Because what I wanted to know was this. I wanted to know, like, data is important, and I'm in media. So I have let's say I have a now healthier distrust of media.
Right.
Okay. Because they're just people and there's interests. So I started to look at, who is this? Because I was trying to be like, because they were telling you, like, they were age stratifying things, and in the age stratification they were saying, like, here's your chances of survival, right?
Right.
And then, so like my age group, and I didn't have, like, I was 40 pounds heavier at the time. I didn't have, knock on wood, I've never had like a comorbidity. So I started just gaming. I was doing public school math. Right. I was saying, okay, so because I don't do this, I increase my chances by this. Because I don't do this, I increase my chances by this. And by the time I got done looking at it, I'm like, I'm 99.99, like, I'm okay.
Right.
And then I looked at the children, and they were way better than me.
Right.
So I started making phone calls in April to whoever I could, and I didn't know any school directors at the time.
Right.
But I'm gaming it down the road. I'm like, the damage that we're going to do to children is going to be unfathomable.
Right.
We're never going to be able to quantify it on any degree that makes any sense. They're saying like 20 years of learning loss, whatever they're saying. I don't even think they're in the ballpark.
Right, right.
So I was calling people going like, you need to open the schools. Like, this is going to be terrible for all these kids, and especially like the parents but everybody was afraid.
Yeah.
Well, and I couldn't convince them otherwise. I'm like, here's the numbers.
Right. And the state wants to tell every district what to do, but when it came down to that decision, they were hands off.
Right.
You know
Isn't that
so
weird?
It's like, whoa, you're recommending things, but not you're giving suggestions, but not like implementing something. Or you're giving recommendations, but not making a mandate. Make the mandate. Have the guts to make the decision, because what you're saying and what we want to do is completely different. So have the guts. If you that's how you feel, make the decision, and they put it all on the small school districts. And that
so
was
they're
always
saying like up to you to close.
Yeah, yeah. They'll say like they'll give you recommendations based on the time or whatever the data was.
So what happens?
But it's your decision.
So what happens if you stayed open? Was there penalties?
No, I mean,
was there threats of penalties?
Not that I recall, because they never made the full decision. It was always like, we'll give you a recommendation, but it's your decision. Because then we did like polls, I talked to the parents, talked to the teachers, it got to the point where it was like, okay, we really got to go back in now.
Well, I remember seeing polls, I think, for Abington.
Yeah.
Right? Were you telling me about that poll for Abington?
Which one was it?
Remember, it was like, do we go back to like? Would you let your kids go back to school?
Oh yeah. We were getting like quarterly, I'd say, kind of like update emails about, would you be comfortable with this kind of schedule? Would you be okay with like 3 days on? Right. Or basically, are you okay with sending your kids back to school?
And then did you see gradually like more and more parents are like, yes, or was it? Did it stay the same? Because I remember there was like everybody learned how to use like Google Docs and all that shit. Right. But there was like a Google survey thing that you guys could. Am I talking crazy?
No, we had stuff like that in our district.
I've kind of blacked all this out in my brain though too, because it was a dark time in my life.
That's the thing. It feels like
he's got
forever
2 young
ago.
kids, man, too. That
like
are
the
that
whole
are-
learning from home thing was a total disaster for us. And like trying to have a 6-year-old, or well, what I think he was like 7 at the time.
Right.
Like, no, you had to sit here with these headphones on and like learn.
Right.
And like it just didn't work out at all. He just drew and he worked on his art all day, and that basically what it just became. And now, like you're saying, there's a lot of effects of these kids not being in school and the socializing and everything like that.
Well, too, it was hard for the parents who had to work too. Like, how are you going to be home with your kid? Like, I manage people, so like they're like, hey, I might have to take an extra 10 minutes to go log my kid on. Go ahead. Like, some companies aren't as accommodating as others, so like that put them in a tough spot where it's like work and then take care of your kids and help them do their schoolwork all at once. They kind of became like a teacher's helper and stuff like that. It was tough.
What about for like, I was just thinking about it, like even for people that still had to go to work.
Yeah.
And then their kids are at home and they got to facilitate that. Like the whole thing, it just, I don't know. It's like, it's so weird to talk about it now.
Yeah.
Because it seems, like, I'm going to say this, it seems insane, like in hindsight.
It seems like an insane thing to have done.
Yeah.
You know, like the way that we all treated each other.
Right.
You know, the way that, you know, like the way, like you said, like for businesses, like we're business owners, and
Right.
you know, the way that we were treated and talked down to, and you know, just no, you're just going to go bankrupt.
Yeah, it's your life,
and that's it.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're a monster who's killing people.
Right.
And it's like, it was just such a weird
But
time.
the Home Depots and Walmarts, they all could be open.
It was unbelievable.
that
because
was
they have money for corporate donations.
But like the thing is, if you want to follow like the guidelines on the stuff, it's easier for a small business to do it. Less people in, less people out, you can control what you want to control. When it's a big super center like those places, it's a lot harder to do. So that was already blew my mind.
when we were finally allowed to reopen, we didn't get any
allowed.
Yeah.
we didn't get any guidelines for like 3-4 weeks
After you're open.
Right.
after we were open. We made up our own,
Right.
just based on common sense.
Right.
We were open for 3 weeks, and then our estheticians do like the facial skincare. They were told they can't. They worked for 3 weeks. Nope, you're not allowed to work.
Right.
And they had to wait like another month.
Right.
Like it was just insane. Like
And I'm not blaming anybody
No,
for making those decisions.
I am.
Well, he will. Because his kids had to stay home.
Right. Well, the thing is too is like we've gotten so many emails. Like I'm a guy where if I get an email, I want a phone call. Like, thanks for your email. Let's you know, you're free for a call. Can I call you? And then I have that conversation, whether it was this issue or any issue. I'd rather connect in a personal level.
I think that's so more valuable than an email.
Yeah. And because you're going to go back and forth in email. Plus, you know, there's a personal level to it. I'm a human being just like they are. So I'm going to talk to you on a personal level and say, hey, what's going on? Like, you might not agree with me, but you're always remember the guy who called.
Yeah.
And they're going to respect me for it. Because there's sometimes they're tough conversations, but I signed up for this. I don't shy away from it.
Right.
I know I have to do it. And that's the approach I take. If somebody's like, hey, can I give so-and-so your number to talk to you about something? Yeah, absolutely. You know, I had somebody just call me before I was on the way here, a teacher, to talk about things. Like some calls are 10 minutes, some calls are an hour, but I signed up for this and I owe it to them to explain the reasons why I'm making these decisions or to hear them on their questions and their concerns.
Do you, are any of them, so have parents conveyed to you that there is like social, emotional learning loss issues?
Yeah.
I mean, is it across the board or is it just
it's some of the
30%?
Some of the stories you hear break your heart. Like it gets emotional. Like you know, hearing what some of these kids are going through, and that's the aspect we need to ramp up now. It's the mental health part of it. I'm a big proponent of mental health, and we need to get. We just hired a supervisor of mental health, so I'm waiting to see what the plan comes from them to how we're going to address it in every school. We know we need to get more school counselors and stuff like that. That's the stuff we need to start talking about. Everybody wants to talk about these school closures and the buildings and stuff like that. We keep talking about that and running in circles with that. I think we need to pivot and start focusing more on the education and the mental health of our students.
So, I'm with you.
Right.
I'm with you 100% on that. I'm with you where it's you know, the quality of the education.
Yes.
Needs to be, and it's not like, oh, we want every kid going to Ivy League schools. It's
Right.
just like, can you read, write, do math?
Right.
Like in essence, that's all you need to be to function in a Western society.
Right.
You know, where is education at in our area? As best as you can assess.
I mean, our district alone our scores are very, very low. Some of the
So
lowest.
you're not most people, you know, are going to be like, yeah, we're not going to say the truth about
and
it.
that was one reason why I wouldn't vote for the exit plan, because our people to be were making comments like that. Like, yeah, I want to say this out there, but we're one of the lowest. Well, no, say it out there. Go. If you're telling me that, then everybody should know that. You know, instead of researching themselves, we need to say that. It's a fact. It's a scary fact, and it's a sad fact. But what are we doing to help it? You know, after school programs we need more of. You know, tutoring, stuff like that. That's where we need to focus on. We need to focus on, like, again, it's the other stuff. We're talking about closing schools, and we're having like, why is that our focus right now when we know our test scores are so low? And obviously the smaller classes are proven to show
better results,
right? And then same thing with preschool. We're looking now to try to bring preschool back in some way.
Can you explain that as a board member? Because we can get Borthwick on here and he'll bitch and complain, and I love him.
Preschool was funny because, well, it wasn't funny, but it was like we didn't vote on it. So when I got on, that was another thing, the fight with preschool. And I was very vocal with it. I was against getting rid of it. And they're like, well, we're not running it the right way. Well, then fix the way we're running it.
Yeah, simple.
You know what I mean? We're one of the only districts. We don't have to have preschool. We're responsible for K to 12 learning. So, but why not? We have it. We have a great one. You know, so.
And wasn't it being funded by a federal program?
Yep. And the money that we were supposed
to. Not state, federal.
The money that we were supposed to switch it to, we're supposed to be for math and math tutors and stuff like that. But are we utilizing that? We're still waiting on an answer on that. So we didn't get to vote on it. It was, we were going to vote on it. And I said, before we vote, can we have all these other preschools come in and tell us what they can offer compared to what we have? And the questioning I asked I know the questions I asked showed that ours offered more and it was a better program. And then we were supposed to vote on it with either like a week and a half. I forget what it was. And then the chief recovery officer said, it's already passed in the recovery plan. You don't have to vote on it. I'm like, well,
what?
I'm like, why? Because I was like, you told us a week ago, get ready to vote on it. And she said it's already passed. And I think it was because they thought it was going to be a close vote. But
isn't that politics?
Yeah. Well, it's frustrating because then I said, well, what about school closures? If it's already passed the recovery plan, why are we voting? Well, this is a program versus a building. It's different. I was like, let's vote on it. But we didn't win. And then they wanted a statement coming out from the board. I said, no, it should come out from you. You're making the decision from the state. But, you know, it was a sad time because we're learning now, like me going into classrooms and talking to the kindergarten teachers, how behind they are. And we don't know. We don't know which ones are going to preschool. We can't I would love to do a study. Which kids went to preschool since we lost it that are in kindergarten, first grade now, you know, compared to what we normally would have. And if now is the way, how do we bring it back? Whether it's a strong partnership with somebody and we have it in our buildings and we oversee it, that's an option. There's all different options, but there's got to be a way we bring it back to ensure these kids are having an opportunity to go to preschool. Like
privatize, like a private company or
anything. I'm open for any options. You know, I mean, if we can bring it fully back and we do it ourselves, absolutely. If we can't, it's harder to bring. It's easier to cut stuff, harder to bring it back. You know, so but whatever.
Oh, just like freedoms.
Whatever way we do it, we have to have heavily involvement with it, and we have to do something because we know we're hurting here.
So, I'm not on the board. I don't have to worry about anything
yet.
Manifest. The recovery officer made that decision.
Well, the recovery, based on the recovery plan that was voted on by previous boards.
That can be amended, that you come to find out.
We find out now it could be amended, right? So could it be amended, can't be amended. That was always the struggle.
So why couldn't anybody give you a definitive answer on something like that?
Because they would say, if you could change it, but if it did, I'd have to report it to the state, and not following the rules might put you in receivership, and that's the last thing anybody wants. So to me, I was like, let's put your money where your mouth is. Let's see them do that. Because to me, it was one where I always saw it was during COVID. They're not going to put anybody in receivership right now.
No.
And number two, whose hometown are we?
Yeah, we're not in the state's hometown.
Well, no, but who's President Biden's hometown?
Oh, yeah.
I think they're going to put President Biden's hometown in receivership
in an election year.
I didn't think so. So I was like, let's flex a little. Let's say, okay, see what you got. Like, it's sad but I was that passionate about keeping it. But again, you have to have the backing of more than myself and other people. So you have to have 5. So it didn't go anywhere. And I respect their opinions, and they, we got to follow the plan. I get.
Yeah, but it's also something that apparently you can't vote on anyways. Or right. Did you?
No, but there still could have been a way to say we're still having it. Like, what I mean? Like, there wasn't a vote; it was her decision. But at the end of the day, it's our district.
So who would have been able to bring that forward?
Any one of you
to vote on it, right?
Yeah.
I think as a member of the board, you can call for a vote on pretty much anything, anytime, right?
Yeah. The question is, would there even be a second? Would there be more than that? It wasn't going to get anywhere.
Then it becomes you're just being the difficult one.
Yeah, or the theatrics of it all and stuff like that.
It is theatrical, though, isn't it?
So sometimes, yeah.
A lot of it.
Flip the
Do you
table.
hate that?
Yeah. Because here's the funny thing is, so we're underfunded, right? The fair funding thing we talked about.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we didn't talk about it yet.
Well, sorry. But there is their court case. We're waiting for the court case, right? We won it. The school districts all won it. And now it's probably going to get appealed. But when you talk to all the reps and all that stuff before this, it was, well, the House is Republican. We can't get it through. Well, now the House is Democrat. What are you doing? Are you waiting for this court case to be figured out? Or are you still fighting for it? And I've said this multiple times where we had the governor come speak at our school. We were just having possibly another one for another press conference. I say, why don't we tell them no? And they all look at me crazy, like, why? Well, it sends a message. Everybody comes to Scranton for the votes. We're Joe Biden's hometown. We're big Democrats. They all tell you, they promise you the world. But when it comes down to delivering, no offense, but we're still $30 million, $25 million short fair funding. So wouldn't it be nice to send them a message saying, no, you're not.
We're done playing around.
You're not here for the cameras. You're not going to have your press conference here until you pony up. You give us what you told us you're going to give. You give us the more fair funding, because why is it fair that kids in other districts don't get the same amount of money as our kids get? You got to send a message sometimes, and that's where I'm at. And it's when the
Sean,
I have a theory.
I will support you on that.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, because when the governor came, they wanted to come. When they added some more money to our budget, the last budget, which was very, very graceful, and I was very happy about it, but they wanted to do a press conference here. And I said, no, let's tell them no. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want. So I was the only one to go that route. We had it, and first of all, they want to have it in our brand new shiny STEM building.
Right.
Why don't we send them to one of our schools who needs like a lot of work, so we can see what we're dealing with here.
Yeah, Eastside High.
So, so it was new STEM. So I was like, I don't want to meet the governor. I don't want to stand up there. I don't want a picture taken. The only reason I went was because the kids were going to be there, and it was the first time seeing the STEM Academy, and I wanted to see their reaction.
Right.
But it was funny. He's up there, and he talked multiple times about preschool.
No shit.
And the person who told us to get rid of our preschool was sitting right next to him, and I'm like, how can you be in our school talking about preschool, knowing darn well we had we got you. You're the person you pointed to come here. Got rid of our preschool. I was sitting there. I was like, I gotta get out of here.
Well, it's real simple, because if they
I like how Mike always goes, it's real simple, and then it's like, man, this is complicated.
No, it's not. It's very simple. If they fairly fund the school, then there's no more problems for politicians to come in and fix.
Right.
It's real simple. We talk about a lot of things, and I do want to talk about this a little bit, but like you said before, like the tragic gun, situation and shootings in schools and some of the decisions you guys have taken, one side of the aisle talks about it a lot.
Right.
They had the Senate, Congress, president, could have done whatever they wanted to do, didn't fix it. We'll deal with it in the next election.
Right.
It's always the running.
Yep.
That's always
kicking
the
the can down the road.
Yeah, and both sides do it.
Well, yeah.
It's just like
it's always an excuse.
Yeah, there needs to be a problem so a hero can come and fix it.
Right.
It's
or someone trying to win an election, or
that's what I'm saying is
run for office.
Yeah, it's like the boogeyman on the other side of the aisle. They don't care about this. There's this problem. Right. Well, you could fix it if you just did the simple thing here.
Right.
And we talked about this before, like the decisions you guys made as a board that I know you got some heat for. Over putting armed security at the high school, and are they also in the middles and elementaries, or? We're
still waiting on the next group, but they're definitely in the high school. They're definitely in the middle school, and there's some elementaries. We need more to get through the training process to get put into the
elementaries. I mean, for me, and I know you guys got some heat for that.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it a little bit. Like for me, that's an absolute no-brainer decision. It's the fact that people were against it is insane to me.
Well, the first thing is it's not the first time we would have an armed guard in the school, because we have the Scranton police officers.
You have resource officers.
Yeah. So they're there. Number two is, what if we voted yes to these school safety officers and we didn't put the guns in their hands, right? We didn't arm them.
They're pretty much useless.
And then something happened the next day. We're going to wish we did.
Yeah. Well, I look at it as Congress is protected by heavily armed security.
Yeah, right.
And our children, no offense to people in Congress, are more precious than Congress people.
I agree.
So why wouldn't we protect them? The other thing too is like, there are many different philosophies and theories about why this school shootings continue to rise and be the way they are, and we can debate and argue about why we see that. But the truth is, it is.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah,
and we need to stop it.
Right.
Or we need to prevent it. You know, what was it? Nashville? Was that the shooting at the Christian Academy or whatever? I think it was like that. I don't know if you saw that footage. Did you see the footage when the cops showed up?
I think it was like 12,
the body
14
cam
minutes.
No, it was 3 minutes.
Was it?
Yeah, when the cops showed up.
I'm saying from beginning.
Oh yeah, from beginning to
Right.
neutralized. It was that. I mean, I watched the whole body cam footage, and it's quick. It's 3 minutes.
Yeah. Right.
They were like,
Once they were in the building, they were sprinting.
Because I think the police now are going to be like, we're not going to talk you off the ledge.
Nope.
Right.
We are going to shoot you.
Right. Right.
You know, so I like everybody's against guns until they need one.
Right.
You know, so I'm happy that you guys did what you did.
Yeah. Again, it's a sad world we're living in right now. It's a scary world, but you know, unfortunately, it has to happen. Same with the metal detectors. You know, we got to do what we can do, obviously, in the outside of our schools to prevent things from getting in.
Yeah.
But if they do get in, then we need the resources and the stuff there to act on it.
Well, and I think it's so crazy to me, like people, like, I talked to you a little bit about this. I talked to Ty a little bit about this. I talked to Ty quite a bit about it, actually.
Ty's the best, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Love
Yeah.
Ty.
And because he wanted my opinion. I mean, my kids both go to that high school.
But I will vote against you if I believe it.
No, Ty's
If I win.
Ty's the best to agree to disagree.
He's awesome.
We,
Yeah.
we work really well together.
Yeah, there's no ego, man.
No,
he's a
he's
good
the
guy.
best.
Yeah, we were talking about it. I'm like, and seeing some of the parents' comments, whether it be in the paper or just, and it was just so mind-boggling to me. It's like, I don't want my kids to go to school in what feels like a prison.
Right. Right.
A prison is built to keep bad people in.
Right.
We're building this to keep bad people out.
Yep.
And that's a very distinct difference. And I don't want guns around my kids. Well, then never go to a Rail Riders game, never go to an airport, never go to City Hall, never go pretty
I don't know
much.
if City Hall's armed. Are they armed?
Yeah, they got armed police there.
Oh, do they?
Are
Yeah.
they?
Oh, all right. Well,
I mean, never go anywhere
Right.
because there are armed security officers, police, whatever the case may be, everywhere.
Yeah. Well,
The bank.
Our board meetings have a cop.
Yeah.
So it's like if it's good for me, it's good for the kid. Like I'm the type of, even when like we put the kids back in school and all the teachers and we went back, I was like, our board meetings have to be in person. I kept fighting it. Like if it's okay for them to go and it's okay for us to go.
yeah.
And
were there people resistant to that?
Yeah, we still went virtual for a long time. And I was like,
The kids are in the school, but you guys are still virtual.
I remember the vote to go back to school. Me and Director Yanni we were on the board, and we went into the admin building to do the vote. At least we're like, I'm in the school. I'm showing that it's I'm in one of the buildings. Like if it's good, if it's okay for them and safe for them to go in, then it's okay for me to go in and safe for me.
Yeah, because what message does that send when you guys are
Exactly.
You're still not there.
Exactly. Every week I kept breaking. We go back in person. We go back in person. Again, it just comes down to you need other people, more than one person to agree to it.
So I want to talk about. There's two things I want to talk about. Don't let me forget. The first thing I want to talk about is scores. Second thing I want to talk about is fair funding.
Okay.
Right. So the scores, the test scores. Are you able to look at like, I don't know if there's a graph. I like graphs.
Right.
From like 2010 to like now. Is there like something that shows like the scores of the district?
Yeah, I mean,
Or an Excel sheet? I don't know.
And if there isn't one written up, we can get that's the administration is good with that. If we request something, they're going to give it to us. But
you haven't seen them?
like compared like that far back, no.
No.
But we get the updates on like again how bad they are.
Are they going down?
They are.
Or are they just consistently bad?
consistently bad?
Okay.
Oh, so they're just they were never good as far as you know.
Recently, no.
What's crazy is when my kids were little, and my kids went through the whole Scranton School District, the whole 9 yards. When they were little, Scranton was actually thought of as a pretty good school.
It's where everybody wanted to go to work.
Yeah.
And everybody wanted to send their kids.
Yeah, my mom was a teacher there for 20 some years.
Yeah.
Well, in West Side.
And that's the goal. That's the goal. Hey, West Side's the best side.
Yo, we bleed blue, dog.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
you dare.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So what we say?
But that's the goal. That's the goal to get it back there. Like I have friends and
I think you got to think out of the box to do that,
Yeah,
though. We
yeah.
can't. You
Well, you
can't
do
do business
now.
as usual. You
Right.
can't do business as usual.
Agree. And it's like it's frustrating because like a lot of my friends now who moved away are coming home, and my cousin's one of them. He's like, I'm coming home. I'm gonna go to Abington because of their school district. And I'm like, okay, but ours is gonna be better. Just wait. Like that's like the mentality I have is we should be the best in this area because we get the biggest budget and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Most kids, absolutely,
and the most resources in a way.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So if we got if we get this fair funding, it's a game changer. It fixes so much because it's an annual amount of money we're getting every year.
Help me understand. How is it not fair? So like, yeah, I know people.
Because Micah, life isn't fair.
No. Like I want to know the nuts and bolts. Like, is it like you're supposed to get a certain amount of dollars per kid, or
okay.
It's there's some formula. What the formula is, I still don't understand it. But put it this way: other districts our size and our poverty level get more than we get.
Yeah, there's like economics, population, all those things play into it.
It should just be like you get X amount per kid per demographic or whatever, and that's it.
Well, I remember
It's funny how that system isn't equitable.
Yeah. Well, I was on a meeting once. It was a recovery meeting, and it was like right when I got on the board, and I saw an opportunity to kind of ask our legislators.
Were you all full of piss and vinegar at that time?
I went in really hard. Yeah. I learned
in the paint, you just jumped to. You're like, all right, we're boxing you all out.
I learned to dial it back a little bit and finesse, but I send my message how I need to send it. So I was in one of these meetings. It was during the week. I took a little break from work to do it. Took time off from work to be on it. And there were some higher ups there, like state officials, and it wasn't them, but it was their staff members. And I said, like, hey, what's up with the fair funding? Like where's an update? What are you doing recently? What are you doing for this? And they couldn't really, they're so and so we're fighting for it, but they couldn't tell you what they were actually doing. And I got a call afterward from somebody, and I'm not going to say who, but they were like, I just want to let you know I called their office to apologize about your questions. And I was like, well, what do you mean? Well, that wasn't right.
Wait, they preemptively apologized for you without
Yeah, they're like, well, this wasn't the appropriate place to bring it up. I said, well, I saw an opening to speak with them. I mean, when's the appropriate time? Well, sometimes we do like a breakfast with the Senate. I forget what it was. And I was like, well, I'm not waiting for that. Like I saw an opening, I took it. And they said, well, we do. If fair funding would take away from other districts, and I said, this is going to sound harsh, but I don't care.
Yeah, they're not my
I'm a
district.
Scranton School District.
Yeah.
School board member.
Yeah.
I need to fight for our kids. If you don't want to fight, that's fine, but I'm going to.
Just like union leaders fight for their union, you're fighting for kids.
Yeah. So that's if I have an opportunity to bring it up, I'm bringing it up. And that's because if people have an opportunity to bring something up to me, I shouldn't. I'm not shying away from it. Say it. Whatever you want to say to me. Whatever if you're mad about a vote or anything like that, I'm here. I'm going to call. I'm going to talk to you. I'm looking in the eye. I'm going to hear about it, and we're going to have a discussion. But if I see one of another elected official, well, I'm going to do the same thing. Ask them, why aren't we getting our fair funding, or why is this happening? And that's how I roll with it.
I look at those moments of like it's not the right time as there's never a right time.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, there's never a right time to ask somebody the awkward question, why aren't you doing your job properly?
And who gets to dictate the appropriate time?
Well, yeah, like I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
It was.
No, you got embarrassed because somebody's not doing the thing that they should have been doing, or they should have been concerned about it. And I brought it up, and now you have egg, and now you feel like there's egg on your face, so you feel compelled.
And if, they're going to take that message and send it back to their boss, and then hey, Director McAndrew asked this, blah blah. I mean, that's what I was looking for, because we have to have these open channels with the state officials, because we need them, and there's a lot that do fight for us. They really do.
Yeah,
but we need more.
It's not an affront to them. You're just asking the question.
We need to know more, because when the cameras are on, a lot of them come. Like during the teacher strike, a lot of them came, and I was happy. Like, listen, they support our teachers. Absolutely needed to happen.
That was amazing. The whole community,
right? But
the whole community got behind the teachers.
It was awesome. But when those officials come, and when it's all over and the cameras are gone, all that stuff, where are you now? I called some of them. I called Fetterman's office. I said, like, hey, what are you going to do for us now? Like, it's off. We know.
Well, he's
how are you
more
going to help us more?
He's more concerned about legalizing weed in schools.
Right. But like anybody was there, majority of them, the ones I know who are more quiet about it, I called and left messages. I didn't really get calls back. Some of them I had great conversations with, but it's like, now that everybody knows what the issue is here. It's the fair funding. It's the game changer we need. And if we get, everything is coming back. Everything can come back. It's literally the game changer.
So has there anybody went and looked back in the Wayback Machine and figured out like when did people stop paying attention to the funding because it seems like somebody just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, Sarah Hoffus Hall I think did a really good article on it a few years ago. Basically, like that's how it kind of got to light, I think, in our district. The fight started before I got on the board. So like somebody like Tom or my uncle could answer that question a little bit better. But I think that's how it just kind of got discovered. Like, oh my God, we're really this short.
We just haven't been paying attention.
Right.
So how much money does the school need to get flush? Like how many millions of dollars do they need to
Oh, to be fair,
to
the fair funding. I think it's. We did get a little increase. It's probably about $20 to $30 million
a year,
extra a year.
Yeah.
And who's the person that can do that?
It's the governor. And well, the House of it's the state. Yeah, the governor.
Let's go on a road trip to Harrisburg.
I think there's talk of
they
that.
were supposed to, and then I forget what happened. I know Rosemary and there's a big community thing over at Trips Park. Again, this was before I was on the board, but there was a plan to get everybody down there. And that's what I said. Like, I even sent letters when I first got on the board to the mayor and the council and everybody. If we ever banded together, a district, a mayor, a council, the unions, and said, enough's enough. Like, from what I was told when I was on the board too, when I first got on the board, like some of these officials use our like gymnasium or whatever for events. We got stiff with bills.
What do you mean? They use it for free?
Like, we charged them for the rental and we never got paid. I think it was like Hillary Clinton's campaign or something like that. I was like, you kidding me? Like, they have flush for cash. We're a poor little school district. Like, you're telling me they didn't pay the bill? So it's stuff like that where it's like, why don't we just tell them no? It sends a huge message because every election, whether it's governor or what, Congress, whatever, they all come to Scranton. They all, like, we're a big voting block. You know, we're the president's hometown. If we kind of band together and said, you know, we're closed for votes until you actually help us here. We're drowning here over in this district. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
I'm going to make it happen.
I think we could. Yeah. I think we could find a way to bring people together for a common cause.
Right.
People who ideologically think differently, who can get behind a thing to prove that together we don't have that much different about us.
And again, there are higher officials like Marty. He fights very hard for us.
He fought a lot.
Every day.
Micah has been very critical of him.
Right.
But I give him credit where credit's due.
Right. Yeah, the fair funding thing, like for him to like, I don't know. I don't know what he did, how he did it, but at the moment you needed it, he got it.
Yeah, and he got us extra stuff to help out with some of the building. I think it was West Middle School. We're getting like a grant for repairs and stuff like that. Kyle Mullins, he's no longer in our district, but he
pissed me off. He was my state rep for my businesses and for my like personal.
Yeah,
and now I've got.
Yeah, he's great. Me and him had a great talk after, like a few times I talked to him about the fair funding. And there's new people like Kyle Dunn, who I know is going to fight for, because he used to be a school director. He knows what it's like to be in this position. So there are great people that are fighting for us, but it's like,
he's a good dude, man.
Yeah,
he's a good dude. Like we go to breakfast and I don't know if this is a story out of school, but like him and his wife bring the kids down, and I turn into like, I love puppies and kids.
Yeah.
So I turn into like, oh my God, like look at he just had a new baby.
Yeah.
I think he'll fight for it more because he was there.
Yes, and that's the thing. He knows what it's like to be like in this district and what this district. He knows this behind the curtain stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a huge asset and resource to have there. So
we need people to really. I mean, if the city helped us, it helps everybody. Better neighborhoods, better schools, better city. Then you're going to be able to get better businesses in and stuff like that.
But we're getting a train.
I'll be honest.
I'm against the train, man. I'm highly against the train.
I'm very nervous about the train.
I hate the idea of the train.
I think we need to fix ourselves first.
Yeah.
And worry about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that like at the end of the day, what people don't realize, and this is why I like the rhetoric really aggravates me. Because it's like whatever's salacious ends up being the thing that people pay attention to, and there's nuance there. There's personalities, and there's people have certain points of view because of how they grew up, how their life is and their life experiences. And I think that like common sense stuff can be like, it's going to be a longer conversation,
right? But
be willing to have the longer conversation, because by the end of that, we might be able to come to some, at least we might agree to disagree, or we might agree to like, I don't know, compromise,
right?
And figure out a way to like. My father always told me in business, he goes when like he was in the steel business and they would sue people.
Right.
And I said, well, what's a fair like when you settle a case so you don't have to go to like trial and anything? He's like, well, the best way to do it is both sides are unhappy.
Right.
He's like, that's how you know that you've successfully settled something. With that fair funding, the concern that like I would have is are we going to protect, like, is somebody going to protect that new amount of revenue? In other words, so like, don't go crazy.
Yes, it's responsible spending.
Correct.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. You got to, it's always what my uncle always says, it's the need to have better for before the nice to have. So let's all, you got to get the need to have first, and then we'll see what's left. And then, but it's got to be responsible. And that's the thing. It was before, if you look at stuff in the past, the over hiring and the overspending and all that stuff, that's where it got us here. So once our budget and our resources and our bank account, everything's going up. Our financial side is improving. Pat Laffey is a great business administrator.
Do you know Pat Laffey and I were childhood friends?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's the best. Like he's doing a great job.
Him and I both lived on the same street. We hung out. We went to school together.
That's awesome. Yeah. So it's making sure that, like you said, we're not going wild with it. We're not just blowing it all as soon as we get it, because we need it, but we don't. We need to be very smart with it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, you talk about like taxes and spending, and obviously people would like for taxes to be lower, but if our taxes are where they are and we were getting a great product in return,
yep.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like if we've got nice roads and everything's landscaped and the school district's working well, and
if everybody's happy and healthy, I don't think anybody bitches about the taxes.
Nobody cares about paying a high level for taxes. If something happens, you make a phone call, police are there, my kids are safe at school. You drive down the road and it looks nice.
It's the thing. You want good roads, you want protection, and you want a school. So it's like,
and maybe City Hall to be unlocked.
And that's the thing. It's like, we're too worried about getting bigger businesses here. We're too worried about getting a trainer. Let's worry about the small businesses who stuck it out and been with us, and let's help them thrive.
Yeah, the loyal ones.
Let's make it more affordable for the people who have been here and fought here and lived here for their whole life. Like, what I mean? Like, let's make it more affordable for them. Like, you have to, every time we raise taxes, I always remember it, because I knocked on doors when I ran for a controller, when I ran for this. And I've had people say, I don't know how, if my taxes go up, a little old lady.
It's unsustainable.
I don't know how I'm on a fixed income. I don't know how I'm going to be able to survive. So it's that stuff. They're the people we need to look out for. And once we fix ourselves, then we can start trying to grow. But if we're just going to try to grow without fixing ourselves, it's not going to go anywhere.
Are there possibilities of look, I know that no one ever lowers taxes. Right. But is that you do this recovery, right? And it's 4% every year. And, I keep saying this every show when we talk about taxes. It's like 4%, that's your new total. Then there's 4% on the new total. Then there's 4% on the new total.
So it's going to be 20% in 5 years. Now, the recovery plan, we did halt it one year. I voted no every time, because I didn't vote, again, I don't vote no just to vote no. I say we got this X amount of money in savings, or we got this in left over from our budget. So I have ways to pay for it. But only once we said, hey, we're not going to raise it. We're going to go against the plan and not raise it. And then the next year we're right back raising it when we had a surplus again. So I was like, why don't we just keep continuing doing that?
So what's the justification for that?
Well, we have to pay for all this stuff. And I'm like, well, we're getting surpluses and we're getting decent amounts, increases in our budget from the state, so we can afford it. Like, you got to help the people that are here. And that to me is like the biggest thing. It's like, I don't know how, I don't know how people are like, my taxes go up every year, but like people with kids and stuff like that have big families and, might not, are struggling or might be out of work. How are they living? How are they?
So like 60% of Americans right now can't afford an emergency of $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, I mean, the cost of food is almost double. The cost of gas is almost tripled in the past couple of years.
Well, everything's going on.
We're driving people to the brink. We're literally putting frogs in the pot and boiling the water.
We're taxing people out, and we're pushing people out with the cuts in the school district. And sometimes I sit back and go, "Was that like, all right? You're saying there's less capacity in our school. Well, we're driving people out. We're not driving people in.
Yeah.
So no crap. Like, it's going to be less people in our buildings. Is that the plan the whole time? You know what I mean? Like, that's what you want. Now you could say, okay, now your capacity is low. Close the building.
Yeah. Somebody trying to move everybody out of the city so we can have like beachfront property. Is that what's going to happen?
Well, it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, you're given a reason to say our numbers.
There's not a lot of good reasons.
Our numbers are going down.
Yeah.
No crap. Our numbers are going down because you're taxing people out. You're cutting programs that kids would want to go to school here for. So
increasing hardship, increasing financial instability, increasing mental health traumas, increasing depression, increasing drug use, increasing gang activity, increasing like everything. All the negatives go up.
And crime is in the gang activity. That's the scary part of it. And will this train?
Really?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Will the train bring more bad stuff in?
I believe that 1,000%.
Will there be more crime and other stuff coming in?
No. The train goes to New York.
Oh, it goes just to?
Yeah, just to, not from.
It doesn't. There's no train that comes back.
No. It only takes people to jobs in New York City, so we could all get rich.
Right.
And then we all come home from work.
Right.
Nobody else is allowed on this train, right?
No one else.
No one else.
Yeah, it's just yeah. It's like the Hunger Games train.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So you can
only goes one
You can
way.
go to District 11 and then come back. Yeah, those people are screwed. But I really like it here in the Capitol.
What's so infuriating about it is, for me, like, I'm a simple person. I think about it from like a business owner perspective.
Right.
You give me the books of Scranton. You give me the books of the school district. You give me about a week and my forensic accountant friend Dan, and we can fix it.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's fixable. Like,
It's like that
guarantee
scene
you-
from Dave. Did you ever see Dave?
I bet you could lower the taxes 20% and have a better product on the back end if you were willing to do the work.
Right, and that's the thing. It's sad to say, but we are a business. We're $216 million.
Yeah.
I think our budget's. We're a business. We have to. If we kind of run it like that, that's the thing about government. They don't really run it like a business. And I think if we kind of had that mentality a little bit more, how we're spending and stuff like that, I think we would see.
Well, people think it. I think what happens is people say, when you say that, people think they have like this negative stigma against business. They think it's cruel. Right. So if you're going to run something like that, they think it's cruel. But at the end of the day, what they don't realize is like, as a business, you have to keep your employees.
Yep.
You have to pay them well.
Yep.
And if you cut corners and have a subpar product, you go out of business.
Exactly.
Right. So all the incentives to do good things are there.
Right.
Which I agree with you. I don't understand why they don't operate it like a business.
Yep. 100%.
I just thought you were going to tell me why.
Oh, I mean, well, that's the thing. Like, no, I mean,
Sean, why don't they?
Good point, Mark. Thank you.
They don't because they don't know how to.
But aren't they the people that like it's the board, the administration, and educators and students, like those would be like the big four facets of the district. So aren't you supposed to put in administrators? And I'm not like asking you to call to task anybody,
Right.
But isn't the point of the administrators to almost look at it that way, where it's like, we have a budget, we have this, we have X, Y, and Z, we have to make sure that and hopefully we're not in the red at the end of the school year.
But like, imagine they're training from their start as a teacher and moving up to certain spots, administration or even super. They're only taught one way.
Right.
If we teach them a different way from start, like that's something an overall every district should implement in education to get to these positions.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say? It's like
so you have a background in like accounting, like you know how to like run a business. Right.
It's like look at like the city. Like you want a mayor who has maybe a business person, or you want a good business administrator. You got to be competitive too with your pay. You know what I'm trying to say? Because big businesses are going to have the business administrator. So you got to pay. You pay for what you get. So up in salaries and stuff like that will help get better people there, as long as you're interviewing and you're picking people for the right reasons,
right?
And based on their background. But a lot of these people, they don't know how they're taught to be an administrator and like how to taught to be,
which isn't their fault.
No. But there should be other ways to look at it. Now, Pat is a great business administrator. He has that mindset to look at stuff like that. So I think we might just need a little bit more of that, or more teaching of that.
Like just educating. Well, I don't know. That's one of those things where it's like, is that something you see the return on in 10 years if you start changing it differently? Or is that something that like, I don't know how quick it is to turn it around, unless it's like, it's got to be dramatic.
Right. Or like there's other ways to do it too, like involve the business and the community into it, like get their input. We're starting to do a lot of stuff more with like bringing the taxpayers in, like this building reconfiguration. But this time we said, we're taking ourselves out of this. Let's bring some
building reconfiguration.
So the next plan to close the schools or whatever.
What?
It's a part of the recovery plan that we have to do. It was part of the amendment that we put in. So we said, let's take a step back. Let's bring in stakeholders. Let's take in business owners. Let's take in parents. So we had people apply, and I think there's 7 or 8 of them on it with our administration to come up with a plan. Get their input, because it's their district too. It's they're the ones paying for it with their taxes.
So are they going to make this group, did they make a recommendation to, what do they make recommendations of?
They're gonna. So the last couple we've had multiple plans on what schools are we possibly going to close, or
why is that in the recovery plan though? Like, why is it just you have to close the school?
Capacity, or we have to reduce our footprint. It's called, or how they label it. We have too many buildings in our capacity.
I don't think who's ever in charge of this recovery thing is very smart.
Right.
But if you keep those open, don't you lower class sizes?
That's the thing, especially and
we're incentivizing not to have a well-rounded education for children.
That was my comment on it. Like, it's the elementaries we're looking at. The only ones that are on the chopping block, if you want to call it that, is the elementary. So I like the smaller class sizes. I like the neighborhood schools.
Neighborhood schools.
That's
is what you want.
incredibly disruptive to their education.
Like when I was against closing Bancroft, when they closed Bancroft, it's you're just throwing them into a different school. Now, if you were going to tell me in 10 years in this section of the city, or 5 or whatever, how long it takes, we're going to possibly build like an elementary center where it's going to be brand new, a state of the art. And that's a different type of thing because it's like you're planning it out. You know, people know in advance that they're going to be there. You're not just uprooting kids saying, oh, well, your school's closing this year, you're going to another school. And then on top of that, it was actually increasing our costs because we have to now bust them. So the whole time this last plan was coming, it got halted by, after it was presented to us, it got halted because of this exit of recovery by the recovery officer saying because there was options that increased our transportation costs. And my first question was like, well, why didn't you speak up? You're part of this plan. Why didn't you speak up during the plan saying, okay, maybe we shouldn't present this. Let's hold back. You presented to us, made all these people, families, and kids worry for months and months. And all of a sudden it's like, we got to redo it again. Sorry.
Because we're going to increase transportation costs.
Just figure that out now. I'm like, you've been on this the whole time. Why didn't you speak up while you were implementing these changes? It's not like you got the plan yourself.
Well, why is it that nobody sits back in that position and goes like, all right, we're going to move all these. We're going to increase the amount of students that we have to transport. I wonder if that's going to increase the cost of it.
Well, listen, they knew that, but they still presented to us. And then that was part of the whole thing to get us out because it increased it. I said, well, why didn't you speak up while you were making the plan? You were part of making the plan. How can you sit there, be a part of making this plan, and when it was presented to us, then say, we probably shouldn't have gave you that.
We shouldn't even went down that road. We just wasted all this time.
We wasted time, energy, and we upset people.
Yeah,
because we did town halls. We had people it was sad. And it was good that we did it to hear the community. It was good that we visited these communities, but we got them all worried for what? And now it's coming again.
Could you do that? You can do town halls?
Yeah, we did them for...
is it the whole board, or you can just go as you can just decide to have one, or how does that?
We came up as a board to have it to hear from the community at each school. So we had town halls at each school that was possibly going to be closed. And then whoever from the board, it was more the administration would answer questions, but I went to everyone. But the board, some board members, I don't think could have made everyone, but yeah, it was open to the public and the board was there. But we were there to listen, and the administration was there to answer questions and stuff like that.
So I want to move on to what time is it? Okay, I want to move on to a game.
Okay.
Are you prepared? You don't have no idea what this is.
I have no idea.
Okay, I don't know what it is either. It's Dan.
Okay.
So are you ready?
Give me a minute. Vamp amongst yourselves. Really.
Okay.
You know what you could do while you so I was able to find this earlier.
What is that? Oh
wow, yeah, it looks completely different.
Right? Doesn't she look? She looks like
she actually looks tolerable.
Well, she looks like it's really interesting because isn't it strange how it's the same person, you just changed two things about it. It looks like a totally different person.
And you can see the video playing the side, so when you see it,
yeah. Oh,
yeah, right there, it's completely different. That's crazy.
She looks like a villain though. She looks like a Bond villain.
She looks like something from like a Marvel.
Maybe it's just because she's not smiling.
Right, it's a stern.
I don't know.
Now picture 2 is that one.
She looks like Megan Fox.
Yeah. Doesn't she?
Yeah,
man, that's wild.
Even more different there.
That's wild. This is Sean. This is what was happening when kids were in school, not in school, learning Photoshop.
Yeah,
they figured out how to make a.
That's funny.
Where are you at?
All right, here, open these up for me.
Are you going back to Are you going to switch a camera?
Yeah, there we go.
All right. So what is this? Oh, Brain Quest. 1,500 questions.
We figured we would play a game.
The mind.
We threw out "Are you smarter than a 5th grader?" as an option.
Oh.
I threw out a game idea that I saw somewhere online, and it was "Who said it? Joe Biden, Donald Trump, or Cardi B?" And you just had to guess the quote and who said it.
All right. What do you want me to do? I've never played this game before.
Here, give me the questions.
Okay. All right.
But you just needed him to open it for you like a jar of pickles?
Yeah, because I was trying to find something.
Thank God I'm a man.
Oh, look at that. There's 2 packs.
Do we get background music for our game?
No, don't give him too much pressure. We'll just hum.
So let's use this box for right now. Okay. So what I'm thinking is you get a pen and paper.
Okay.
And you guys could write the answers down.
Oh, okay.
So that way
we're going to see about your private school education or your Catholic school education versus I have a public school education. Do you have a public school education?
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. Dan, you're not going to play, right?
No, I was educated on the streets.
Okay.
So
here's a pen.
The idea was
you're penned.
So for the first,
Can we not show each other our answers?
well, yeah, and if you get, I'm going to start with 2 questions wrong. Then you have to take a sniff of the bath salts.
Okay, you didn't know that too.
Not bath salts.
Not bath salts, but
I have
smelling salts.
salts.
All right.
All right, because if
These
you get a
are-
question wrong,
I'm telling you right now, these are unbelievably potent.
Okay.
Okay, so just
I like
so
to bring on
have you ever
different
done this
ones to
before?
try.
Have you ever done smelling salts?
No.
Okay, just so you know, like soccer players,
Like
they
you,
do it. Yeah,
you
yeah.
might
Yeah.
puke.
Yeah. Okay.
I hope you don't,
Okay.
and you don't have to get crazy.
No. All right.
No.
Do we wanna-
normally? So like these are the ones we had in here for a while. You could put it right up here, take a whiff, and you're like,
So
"Woo."
like it gets them amped up or
These-
whatever, wakes them up.
I pulled the thing off and had to like from this far away. I was like, I
Do you want
can't.
me to try real quick?
So wait, no, you don't do it. So I'm going to tell you a little secret here.
Okay.
So I didn't hit record at the beginning of the show, so we lost like a couple minutes.
Okay.
So as a punishment, I will take the first shot of the bath
You didn't hit
salts.
record on the thing at the beginning?
No, even though I said record.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't know
an
what
idiot.
happened.
You dummy.
Give it to
So-
him.
All right.
Mate,
Put the
keep it
camera
on you. I
yourself.
want you to suffer.
Let me admonish myself here.
How long?
Dan, I'm
How
telling
long
you,
at the beginning?
Like 9 minutes. We lost like the Elon, and you lost where you went to school.
Where I went to school?
No, him.
You're an idiot.
Wow.
It's all on the audio there.
Dan, start far away.
Oh my god. Okay.
Does it work?
This is crazy potent.
It is.
All right.
It's so potent.
You need to
I
suffer for
wouldn't
this.
put it up near your face, man. I keep it like a foot away.
I have to.
Yeah, you have to.
Dude, you're gonna throw up.
No, you're not gonna
No,
throw
I'll
up.
be okay.
Have fun, guys.
Holy shit.
I didn't mean it. I didn't know we were gonna do this, Sean. I'm sorry.
Wow. Those are good, man.
West Side smelling salt.
So I think it's from the guys from West Side Barbell.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a lot of guys will do it because it like oxygenates your
Yeah.
blood. It gives after
Yeah.
like the 10-15 seconds of misery, you get like all jacked up.
Yeah.
It's like how you wake up somebody if they're
All
knocked
right,
out.
look, you don't have to do it, man. I'm
Yeah,
never
you
gonna
don't
force you. to do it.
There's a lighter one over there. If you want to do like one, yeah.
He looks like
Oh.
you look like somebody farted in a plastic bag and put it over your head.
Okay. All right.
Oh, Sean, it's all ridiculous.
I am now
Everything's
going to
ridiculous.
attempt to
all
read
right,
questions
let's ask
here.
questions.
All right.
This is great.
all right.
We're real pros over here, guys.
Okay.
He is not okay.
Okay.
Okay. We'll start with the easy. So, like, the idea of how these questions go. Okay. What American holiday marks the unofficial end of summer?
Memorial Day? Oh, was I not supposed to answer that?
You're not supposed to answer
Oh, okay.
that.
I'm an idiot. All right. All right. So let's not count that.
No, you're supposed to write it down?
Okay.
Or are we starting now?
Well, that's just, we'll just say that was a test one.
Yeah, that was a test one.
Yeah.
Just so we know.
Marky, you're supposed to write it down, not yell it out to the class.
Hold on. I got to find
I was that kid in high school.
Okay. The answer's on the net. Okay. I got it. I'm under control here. Okay.
Did your whole brain fall apart from that?
I told you not to put it that close to your face.
All right. Okay.
Oh, I love it.
Add a suffix to art to turn it into a person who practices it.
A suffix. Okay. Man, I hope I get this right.
I don't know.
No cheating, Sean. I'm covering my paper like we're in an SATs.
I'm trying not to like shake uncontrollably over here.
All right, what's number 2? All right, is that how we're doing it? And then we'll go back and check our questions?
No, just give the answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I wrote mine down.
Okay. I don't have a clue what I was supposed to write.
Same here.
Okay, so what are your answers?
So there's prefixes and suffixes.
Yes.
Right? So I don't know. I wrote artist.
That's what I put down.
Micah.
I wrote artsy.
Who's right?
Artist is the answer.
Yes.
So that's one wrong
We
for
made it.
Micah.
Yes.
Oh, son of a gun.
So one more.
so-
So if you
small,
get
it's like
if you get 2 wrong, then you have to smell.
Yeah. And then after that, if you get 3 wrong, you have to do another one.
Okay, so I did good. Okay, good. All right. So what's the second question?
Okay.
And we're learning.
We History and civics.
Oh, this is
I
my
love
sweet
it.
spot.
Your parents are U.S. citizens. You are too, no matter where you are born. True or false?
Ooh. Okay. Oh man, this is like a trick question. No matter where you were born.
Your parents are U.S. citizens. You are too, no matter where you are born. True or false?
I feel pretty good about this. I really don't want to have to sniff these smelling salts.
You do not.
I changed my answer. Okay, you ready?
Okay, yes. Answers, please.
I wrote true.
True.
False.
It's true.
I was thinking people on naval bases and stuff like that.
I thought of John McCain. He was born in Panama.
Right.
Oh, well, that's okay. Well, that's one wrong for me.
He was so excited. This is
know.
my category.
Yeah, right.
That was two wrong for me.
All right, so the next one he has to sniff, and then
No,
everyone
do
after
I
that.
do it now?
That's too wrong.
So you have to do it.
It's like he has to do one now.
No, let's just do it on the third when he gets wrong.
Okay.
And then everyone after that.
Yeah, because there's so much pressure right now.
Yeah.
How am I so bad at this?
Yeah, I want to give him a chance to. I'm throwing him a lifeline.
Okay.
All right, what's the third question?
The Puerto Rican flag has a blue star on a white triangle. True or false?
Wait.
The Puerto Rican flag has a blue star on a white triangle. True or false?
Man, I think I know this. All my Puerto Rican friends are gonna be really mad at me. I see it hanging on the
Yeah, I'm
rearview
trying
mirror of every vehicle I've.
Right.
All right, wait. It's a star on a triangle.
Yes. What color?
No, you
So-
you just said true or false.
True or false?
It's a
It's a
blue
blue star,
star
on a white
on a white
triangle.
Okay.
If I get this wrong.
It look. You know what that smelling salt thing looks like? It looks like McCormick spices. You go to like Garrity's.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Just tell us the answer.
I wrote false.
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 Oh,
Did Micah actually write false?
he
over
dodged
there?
a bullet. He wrote
It's
F.
a red
Yeah.
star, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's what I thought.
Or it has a white star on a blue triangle.
Okay, next question. So we have to keep going until somebody. All right, next question.
Okay. Math. What two numbers are neither prime nor composite numbers?
I don't know what composite numbers is.
What two numbers are neither prime? Two numbers.
What two numbers are neither prime nor composite numbers? This is 7th grade, ages 12
man.
to 13 question.
Oh boy.
Elect Mark Denenbaum, Scranton School Board.
Okay, what are neither prime or?
I'm getting this wrong.
Neither prime nor
too.
composite.
I don't even know what a composite number is.
Okay.
What is a composite number?
So a composite number is a number that is added to. I can't do it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got smelling salts in his brain.
Well,
Okay, I'm gonna.
Answers are in?
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got?
I wrote 1 and 2.
3 and 7. I just
1 and 9.
You're all wrong. It's 0 and 1.
All right, so Micah.
Oh man.
So I got like a big old donut on that one. Okay.
All right.
We're gonna watch this.
I'm gonna put you on my big screen over here.
I don't know what Sean's gonna do. So if he loses it, you can cut to his camera. Why did you spell it like it was the cup of Christ? Is it that bad? I'm like, why are you such a baby?
I was so scared. I was like,
And
You can
just took a
smell it
sniff?
as soon as you open that jar. It like creeps up at you.
It can't be that bad.
No, you're right. You should answer the wrong question.
Did you ever think you were gonna do this today?
No.
Surprise.
But you know what? I really like that you're a
going
team
with
player.
it.
You're a team player. All right, what's the next question?
Clears you up a little bit though.
Um.
Oh, it's so strong.
Okay. Well, this is miscellaneous, but it's, I guess, whatever. What American poet wrote The Midnight Ride of Paul Revere? Oh. Come on, Patriots.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Is there,
I might not have
is
an
there a
answer.
year that this was written?
A long time ago.
In a galaxy far, far away?
Something like, yeah.
Who? Okay, say what American poet?
What American poet wrote The Midnight Ride of Paul Revere?
Do you know the answer to this, Sean?
No.
Okay, I think I might have.
Can I tell you something? It's going to be once he tells us if we're wrong. It's going to be like, oh, that we're totally.
I feel
wrong
pretty
there.
good about mine.
Would you like to call Tom on this?
No,
Yeah,
no,
lifeline.
no.
Yeah, phone a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you call Borthwick, he's gonna be like, "How did you not know that?"
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be like, "Tom, I didn't call you for you to harass me."
We're going to play this with him next time, too.
Oh, it'll be great.
yeah.
He'll
What
kick our
American
asses.
poet wrote The Midnight Ride of Paul Revere?
Okay, so it's an older. How many American poets do you know?
0.
Yeah.
I know a few. You know what? I'm just gonna
Gary.
guess. I'm just gonna guess. You said that because of your smelling salts. Yeah. All right, I wrote one down.
Okay, so everybody has
I know
their
I'm wrong on
answers in?
this.
Yeah.
I know I'm wrong on
Okay,
this.
who do we got?
I'll go first. Robert Frost.
Okay.
I put Edgar Allan Poe, but he's not American, so I didn't even know. I just
Oh,
threw it out there.
I didn't even know that part.
I don't think
I
he's
think I might
American.
have accidentally mixed up two poets together.
Micah just wrote squiggly line.
Longfellow.
Micah has the correct.
All right, give me this.
It sounded familiar.
You don't have to
I'll
do
do
this.
it.
You don't
I'll
have
do
to
it.
do
I'm a
this.
man
You
of-
don't have to be a team player.
I'm a game player.
It's okay. So we both have zeros now. So we both have 2 wrong.
Yes.
And it was good. It was 5 questions, so we're good. Oh, man. All right. Holy shit. Sean, look at me. It goes into your head like a...
Like a.
Do you ever see like a horror movie where like the ghost goes into
Yeah.
your nose? It does exactly that. So as soon as you feel it, pull.
Pull away.
Holy moly! Wow, you've never done this before?
Don't
Keep
inhale
them-
too much.
No.
Just take a little.
right? It'll wake the dead.
Wow.
Wow, you know what it feels like? You went into the public pool and just inhaled through your nose.
Yeah.
It feels like
like
chlorine.
chlorine, yeah.
Dan, I think you should go again.
No, you know what? For your penance.
You're right.
Wow.
I don't even know how to start the show now.
I'll go one more.
Yeah. This is how we're starting the show then. We're going to
Yeah, if I was about to lift or something like that, oh my God, I
Right?
definitely
Yeah, you're just like, holy.
wakes you
I'll
right
be
up.
fair. I get one question of your choice on here. And
Okay.
Okay.
if I can get it right, I'll be.
All right.
I mean, try to be somewhat fair about it.
Oh, wait.
That was the first time I ever did spell.
No,
it,
wait.
so, oof.
Okay, so I want to do that one. Okay.
No math.
Wait, where can you...
Oh, it's the next card. Oh. So you see, it says like answer and question.
Oh, 1717. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, Dan, you ready?
Okay.
This is a science question.
Okay.
From what grade?
Oh, they're all the same.
Yeah, they're all the same.
7. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wait a second. Real quick. Nope, that's the question. Okay, you ready?
Okay. Ready.
Dan, the body of cells of human males have what 2 chromosomes?
Can you define a man for me?
Not you right now.
An adult human male.
X and Y.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, you got it right. Can I ask you one to get wrong though?
I'll give you 3 questions. Best of 3. I don't know. Sure.
Sean, are you like, this is ridiculous? Why did I do this?
No,
or are you
this
having
is-
fun?
I'm having fun.
All right, you pick one. Oh, yeah. We'll do one and then we'll give Sean one. Okay.
Yeah.
Sean gets to ask a question.
Oh, this is stupid.
We should bring this game into the school district.
It'd be amazing. This is team building, right?
Yeah, it's a good idea. And the smelling salts I don't think are toxic. So like, Micah, you
Is
can't.
ammonia bad for you?
Okay.
Can't be
It's like
worse than
huffing.
asbestos.
It's like huffing. Yeah, it can't be worse than asbestos.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is going to be great. Who commanded the French army that was defeated at the Battle of Waterloo?
Oh, I might be able to.
So there's this interesting movie.
Oh,
With,
here we go. Air Bud.
Keanu Reeves.
Give us
and
your
the other guy,
Slumdog
Alex
Millionaire
Winter.
backstory.
Are you kidding me?
And they go to a park and they go down water slides. And the person that they take back from history is Napoleon.
Is he right?
Yeah.
Bill and Ted taught you American.
Excellent.
All right, you got one.
No, not yet. So what? The answer's on the back of it?
No,
Yeah. So look at
it's
the
next
look
one.
on the bottom right, and it'll show the number.
So it's like question and then
Yeah.
answer.
This is ridiculous.
It's great.
My chest hurts from inhaling that.
It was
Wow.
It was a lot.
Wow.
It's really shaking the rust off my brain, apparently.
No,
Yeah.
but that's what it does, though. It sucks for like 10, 15 seconds.
Oh, that was really bad.
And then it wakes you up and you're good to go. Wait, you know what we should do? We should wait till at the end when it's time to sign off, and then you should, and then close us out.
Yeah.
And see how well it goes.
Yeah.
Can't find a goat.
They're all,
I know. I was struggling a
Dan's
little
not.
bit too.
Dan's not smart.
Apparently not.
He's gotten them all right so far.
No, that's an easy one.
Falling
Make
out
it
of my chair.
difficult.
Make it really hard.
You got this, Sean. I got faith in you. You can stump them.
Dude, I even know some of these.
Here he goes. Even I know some of these.
All right. Does the U.S. government take a census every 2, 5, or 10 years? I knew that one.
Ooh, U.S. government census.
I know the answer to this one.
A census.
Yeah.
How many? What's my options?
2, 5, or 10.
2, 5, or 10.
John.
So,
Is there another movie?
Yeah. Tell us, Slumdog Millionaire, how did you know the answer to this?
no, I don't have any kind of cultural reference for this. That's just 10 years.
Yep.
Ah, damn it.
He's good.
Huff it. Huff it. You do that. You
Do it
that 'cause
anyways.
You screwed up the beginning of the podcast.
We're gonna make.
I don't want to hear shit anymore. I'm absolved from fucking up the blurriness.
If you do this
and,
like a man,
You're
completely absolved.
You'll be absolved for your past sins.
Yeah.
But new ones, you're not off the hook.
Yeah.
as soon as
Wait. Before you do, before you do it, hold on.
As soon as you like even unscrew the cap, it starts to come up from like underneath it and everything.
It
Yeah.
hits you
Oh,
quick.
good. I'm famous now. All right.
All right, ready?
All right. I'm gonna do.
Go for it, buddy.
This is my life choices.
Get in there. Don't be afraid.
Oh, he really went. He went back in for more. He double take that one. Oh my god,
He can't catch his breath.
Okay.
that's wild.
All right, that's what we do for fun. All right, so is there any hope for the Scranton School District?
Yeah. We're
Keep cutting cameras. You know what won't do that to somebody? The tailpipe of an EV bus.
Oh, so good.
It's pretty powerful. Like you never expected that, did
No,
you? Like,
no, not at all.
Like you see the people in the movies. They just
Yeah.
like they do the snap.
crack it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll wake you from the dead.
Uncommonly powerful though.
Yeah.
It's
like
yeah.
it's
and it's
like
West
this.
Side, isn't it? Is it called West Side?
Yeah.
It's from West Side Barbell. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, that one's not bad at all. That one will wake the dead. So is
I feel
there?
like I need that one to clean this one out now.
Well, and it is brand new.
Get this away from me. Here. Poison.
Warning.
Yeah, warning.
It's so good.
Yeah, this is terrible. Don't stop doing that to yourself.
So, like Marky said, like, is there hope?
Yeah, there's definitely hope. We're headed in the right direction with the changes we implemented. Now we just got to continue the momentum. You know, we can't be complacent and satisfied with what we did so far. We got to keep trucking forward, and along the way, if we get the fair funding and stuff, it's just going to make these challenges and hurdles that we have to go through a lot easier.
I think there's an opportunity now to like take a moment and think about what's in the best interest for the kids. You know what I mean?
And that's I think we got to focus because we focus so much on this plan and we got to focus again, like I said earlier, the education and the mental health of our students because they need improvement in both. A lot of kids are hurting. A lot of kids need us, and I think that's where we need to start shifting focus. We're here to educate. You know what I mean? Like we talk so much about other things, but not enough about education. It's crazy sometimes.
So yeah, somewhere along the lines, it was like that's not our priority.
It was just like there's so much other things we have to hurdle, but we have to laser back in. We're all here to get these kids educated.
Look, man, I know that like like in the 80s and 90s, I mean, Scranton was one of those ultimate schools, and people loved everything that they had to offer. The bands were big. A lot of like West Side's band, they would all go to Penn State, man. They would all go down,
Yeah.
And now it's not really the way it should be.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We need to bring back the musics and the more art music programs in our middle schools and stuff.
It helps with your sciences and
everywhere,
maths.
but yes.
It's part and parcel to the whole experience.
Yeah. And we have a lot of talented kids. Like
Incredibly.
The show choir the other night, you guys saw.
It was phenomenal.
Your daughter's in it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're awesome.
Lead vocal captain.
There you go. All they do is win.
Not to gloat.
All they do is win. And
they can't help winning.
Yeah. So that's the thing it's cool to see the stuff they do, and we have amazing kids every day. And that's another thing too is whether it's the paper, the community, a lot of people focus on the negative, and we're trying to push more of the positive out. Especially
we
with
have
these
to.
kids too. We just hired a communications director. The goal is to get more positive stuff out. And the community needs to know that because we have kids doing amazing things every day.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of work that has been done.
Right.
I think that you guys, all of you, sometimes sometimes you're dealt a plate of shit and you got to figure out what's the best way to eat it.
Yeah.
And
it's like the Billy Joel song. We didn't start the fire.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but, we're trying to put these fires out. As we're putting the big ones out, little ones come here and there, but we just got to keep trucking along and keep the positive momentum going forward.
I think, I hope, it would be an honor to sit up on the dais with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But any given Sunday happens.
Yeah.
I'm incredibly happy that someone like you is there.
I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
And there's a lot of other good school directors too. And I'm not saying any of them are evil or any of that. It just is what it is. There's a bunch of people trying to step up. It might be their time, it might not be.
Yeah.
I
get what you're saying.
We come back?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you're breaking our balls to get here.
Yeah, I wanted to come, and then I know scheduling was the thing for me, so I'm happy to be here, and I'll definitely do it again.
Okay.
Maybe we'll do one with me and Ty.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
I love Ty.
Yeah, he's my guy.
He's got a good head on his shoulders, man.
Yeah.
Like there's and I'm not trying to like play favorites. I'm not trying to be part. These are just I just know him and you and. I think everybody on that board, their heart is in the right place.
Yeah, everybody. There's 9 individuals that care, and they all are. You're 100% right. Heart's in the right place.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just have different opinions and different
on how to move forward.
and different ways to get there. So that's it. Again, it comes down to agreeing to disagree.
Yep.
And then moving on.
Sean McAndrew, thank you so much, and keep doing what you're doing.
Good luck to you in the race.
Thanks, man. Hey, pretty soon can we vote for you for like governor or something? Is that on the horizon?
Do you have bigger political aspirations?
That's a question everybody's asking me.
Yeah.
Let's do it in front of as many people as possible.
Yeah. No. I mean, people have
after
asked,
this, maybe not.
People, right. People have asked me to, when other things popped up, like treasurer popped up and state rep once or twice, but like, I do eventually, but right now I know there's things I want to walk away from here knowing I made a difference and I left it in a good place.
The job's not done.
Right.
Well, because you said that, I'll vote for you.
I appreciate it.
Because it's not about ego with you. It's
no,
about,
no, I want to leave it a better place than I got there, and then, find a next challenge, whether it's down the street from the admin building in City Hall or something like that. But I want to be in.
You want to run for city council together?
Oh, maybe.
Well, wait, we got to get. Look, so there's a very good friend of mine is running for city council, right? His name's Mark Bain.
Right. Yeah, I know Mark.
He's the most
Lord Bread.
He's the. I don't know anybody else who's been kicked off of Facebook more. He every year, right? A friend of his passed away about 12 years ago, and his friend did a lot of stuff for Toys for Tots.
Right. I know Mark does a lot.
Mark now gets tractor trailers full of toys that he gives.
He's
to
a good
kids.
guy.
He's a really good guy. I mean, he doesn't hate. I was at his political event the other night, and it was Democrats, Republicans, Independents out the doors. Man, it was awesome. So I wish him all the luck in the world, and we're gonna try to get him on, aren't we?
He'd be great.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah,
We'd have so much fun. I wonder what he would look like doing this.
he would never do it. He'd rather punch you in the face.
But that's the thing. Like, if I'm going to do something, I want to walk away that I feel good about it, and I want to do it with Scranton as the main. Like, I'm here to help Scranton. I want to focus on Scranton. So,
Well, you got our support, brother.
I appreciate that.
So thank you, Dan. You want to say it?
What a week.